Well, I found when I practice the pranayama that you taught me, I get into a state where I'm relaxed, where then I can begin the meditation from a different place. But could you talk a little bit about pranayama and what?
Okay. Pranayama. Prana, Prana is the vital power, is a kind of energy, and this energy is permeated all through the universe. All through the universe. Whole universe is permeated with energy. Air is permeated with energy, water is permeated with energy, fire is permeated with energy, tree is permeated with energy. Energy is everywhere, prana. And this prana is the element which gives a life, gives an element in shape. Scientists cannot say why everything is in shape. Where from the shape has come is very difficult even for the scientists, But this prana, the Rishi says, like you have a microphone in your hand. This microphone 1 hour ago you could recognize, and maybe 1 hour later you can recognize, and maybe tomorrow also you can recognize this thing. If it would change its form like liquids, if you put in the glass, or if you in the dish, if you put in the pan, it's different. No, it has a fixed shape. This fixation of the shape is maintained by prana. So I can recognize you. 1 year ago I saw you, and now I see you, and I can know, this is the same Joe. So the prana maintains. So what is life? Now point comes, what is life? Let us come back to the personal element. First I said that everything in the world, even sun, moon, all prana, full of prana. And they provide prana too. Sun gives us prana, air gives us prana, And what prana is personally connected with us? How? It is like this. Existence, life is a parallelism between body and mind. Your mind is a bundle of thoughts, has been created by your past karma, and without a body it cannot be connected with the world, it cannot survive. So you have a body according to the mind, and this mind and body, they are constantly moving, maintaining each other. If there is a little disturbance in the parallelism from the mind point of view, you are sick. If a little disturbance from the physical point of view, you are sick. But if the disturbance is too much to be healed, to be maintained again, then death, separation. So this maintenance, body and mind thinks, body reacts, mind thinks. So this way it is maintained by prana in between. It's like two wheels of a car. Two wheels maintained by the axle in the middle. Exactly, prana is a blind force. It doesn't think anything. It doesn't even work. It only maintains. So prana is basically prana is maintaining life force. How life moves, body and mind, two wheels move, and the prana is maintaining the balance, is the regulator. Understand? And pranayama, this word is called pranayama. It's two words joined together. In Sanskrit, generally they join together words, So prana, this vital force in you, ayama means regulating. The regulation of the vital force. Because the moment your vital force is regulated, your mind is controlled. Body is also settled. Most of the time, you see, somebody becomes sick. I told you, from mind also one can be sick, from body also one can be sick. For instance, somebody is walking in the street, a motor car comes and dashes him. So physically he is sick, and mind also becomes sick. He becomes sick. And somebody's son is in a foreign country studying, and suddenly he dies in accident. The mother sick from the mind. So mind and body both has to be maintained. This is life. This is education. How you can maintain your body and mind perfectly. This is the education. And this particular education, unfortunately, is lacking in the modern education. This was the ancient Vedic education, how as a person, you are the most important person in the world. In the whole world there are millions of people. But out of these millions of people, if we ask you who is the most important person out of these millions, you have to say that myself. Because if you are not healthy, the world is sick. You are sick, the world is sick. You are sad, the world is sad. Your world depends on you, and how you can be physically fit, mentally concentrated, intellectually elevated, and spiritually accomplished. These things depend, your life depends on that. So pranayama is one of the best process by which you can maintain your vital power, because prana often gets distracted. If your thoughts are not correct, prana gets distracted. If your thoughts are not correct and the prana is distracted, body is also distracted. You feel sickly, you don't get inspiration, you feel negative things in you, you have no energy to work. So this prana actually has to be settled. If the mind is distracted, prana is distracted. If the body is distracted, prana is distracted. So as we pull your ear, head comes, and you take the head, ear also goes. So we take the prana. What is the sign of prana? What is the first sign of prana? Breathing. Breathing is not prana. Breathing air is not prana, but it is connected with the prana. It's connected with the prana. So they take help of the breathing. That if you can regulate your breathing, automatically the sleeping prana in you, the energy of the prana starts working in. And this prana, they say, actually it has 10 functions. 5 internal prana and 5 external prana, external activities. So 5 internal pranas are like this. They are very important to know. From navel upward is prana. Navel downward is apana. Prana, apana. So, and when you breathe out, it is prana. When you breathe in, it is apana. Because when you breathe in, it's not just up to the lung, but it goes down into your bottom, spinal column, goes down into the spinal. So this prana, apana, and the balance in the middle is called samana. It maintains the balance. Samana means balance, samana. And then udana is speaking. The person who speaks well or sings well, orator, good orator, they have the udana. Udana is emotion. And bana moves around all the body. So you have the sensation. When you touch, somebody touches you, you have the sensation. When you talk, the body is having a sensation. When you play music, you have the sensation. So this sensation is created by bana. Bana means it is a moving element. It moves from head to foot. It goes on moving. So this way, internal prana, and then some external prana, like you sleep or you contract your body, expand your body. This sort of functions are there. So this prana is regulated by pranayama. And when you have done pranayama, then there is a possibility of kundalini to be awakened. Kundalini is the divine potential power. So pranayama helps the sleeping kundalini power to be roused, particularly by kumbhak, holding the breath. But it should be done with concentration, it should be done with mantra, and it should be done with feeling that you are taking the divine within you and breathing in and then breathing out yourself, offering to the divine. So that way, if you have practiced pranayama every day before your meditation, you definitely will find that your meditation is good.
Yeah. Wow, there's so many questions coming out of what you're saying. So in other words, by regulating the
Vital
breath, that can also then affect the mind because of the connection of the prana between the body and the mind. So, so does the prana? Yeah, I want to ask you a little bit more about that then.
Prana is like this. You see, we take medicines when we are sick. In fact, medicines don't do anything. Medicine helps the prana to work. We take food. Food is not important, but food helps the prana to rouse. Mm-hmm. So prana is the fundamental thing in you. Sometimes some people practice pranayama, they don't take food. They don't take food, but with pranayama they maintain for some time. Mm-hmm. I mean longer time. Normal people like to take a lot of food, but sometimes people practice pranayama in such a way that less amount of food also can help, mm-hmm. help. So pranayama is a big science. There are so many kinds of pranayamas, like Nadi Shodhan pranayama, one pranayama which is breathing in and out. Then Mala Shodhan, you hold the breath for some time. And then Bhastrika means bellowing, mm-hmm. Very fast and then holding the breath. You know, every pranayama has different kind of effect. Even some people can float on water, having practicing kumbhak for a long time. Some people can be under the ground for 3 days, having holding the breath for a long time, underwater, underground. So that way, pranayama has been researched for a long time. I can give you an example. You see, you heard the name of Dunlop. Dunlop was a Swiss scientist. Dunlop was a Swiss scientist. His son came from the school and said, "The father, there will be bicycle competition. So the father was watering in the garden, and he suddenly thought, "Oh, if I put the pipe, because at that time there were solid tires, So if I put the pipe with air in that, that would be better." So he did that, and his son became the first. So that way, first time people discovered that the air has the power to hold, and that way so much of tires and millions of thousands of speed, thousands of miles a truck goes with tons of loads on a little air.
Yes.
So air has that power.
Yes.
In the Western world, they have discovered. And the rishis from the ancient time, they discovered that as we use water for healing ourselves or keeping our life force or food and all this, air can also do the same thing. Air has the great power with mind, with soul connected. So here we have used air for transportation and for other lifting weight.
Yes.
But here air is used for arousing the sleeping spiritual power.
Yes.
Sleeping spiritual power. Now, mostly what happens, people sit for meditation, but their mind is not steady. Mind moves around. So pranayama is one of the kriya means spiritual practice, which helps to regulate the mind. So they say in the Bhagavatam, Krishna says, pranayamam parambalam. Pranayama is the supreme power. Why supreme power? Nothing in the world can regulate the mind so easily as pranayama can do. Like a small hook controls the elephant. A small boy controls the elephant like with a small hook.
Yeah.
So pranayama, mind is like an elephant, mad elephant. It's moving around here and there.
Yeah.
So if you have done half an hour pranayama, the mind is bound to come back. Settling down.
Another question, based on pranayama. Sometimes I will lie down and I will breathe in through the nose, hold it as long as I can, and then let it out very slowly. And I notice it has a very quick, relaxing effect on the body. Like if I'm anxious, I can do that for 10 breaths. I'll feel very much relaxed. Is that affecting? Could you talk about the nervous systems and how?
Well, through the
nervous system too.
Our nerves are of two kinds. One set of nerves are giving us worldly feelings. Like you eat food, the nerves have sensation. You touch somebody, have the nerve sensation. Constantly nerve sensation goes on. But there are nerves which are very subtle, very subtle, and they only can carry higher spiritual sensations. Spiritual, vital and spiritual, mental, psycho-spiritual sensations, So those sensations, those nerves become active when you practice pranayama. A lot of people without pranayama, if they practice meditation, they sit for a long time, but they don't get the sensation. Without sensation, mind will not be controlled, Sensation is needed.
Yes.
Some supramental sensation.
Yes.
Some extra sensual sensation has to come in you. So pranayama helps that. This is why we cannot say.
Yeah.
Why we cannot say. There are many things you cannot say why, but you can say how. You can say how, but you cannot say why. So why it is so? It is what is discovered. It is a discovery. Like magnet is discovered, electricity is discovered. So it is discovered by a number of people who have been researching on that. They have discovered that by the power of breathing, you see what happens. To animals, birds, there is breathing. They breathe, but they have a regulation of breathing. Sometimes they also use pranayama. Elephants use pranayama. Snakes use pranayama. Lots of animals practice pranayama. Elephants go down into the river, deep down into the river, and then stay for a long time, and then come up and then blows out, and that helps them.
Yeah.
So they also have discovered that the power of breathing. Breathing is life. Anyhow, so pranayama if you have regulated, in a very regulated way you do this, very systematically, maybe at a time you can do whatever you like. If you have reached to a perfection, then you can do as much pranayama you like. But pranayama alone is not the supreme. Pranayama is a lower kind of practice. The highest thing is your concentration of mind, your absorption. So, but pranayama helps, and this sensation that rouses in your body, the sensation are positive sensations, and that way nerve system, and it makes you healthy also. A lot of diseases are driven out by pranayama. So they say in Ghiranda Sangita, Ghiranda says, Ghiranda is very famous, he says what is the effect of pranayama. Should I tell you that?
Yes.
He says, in Sanskrit he says, pranayamat khecharattam. By the help of pranayama, your mind becomes like the space. Khecharattam. Kha is space. Khecharattam means like you fly like a bird in the space. So pranayamat khecharattam. So your mind, which is stuck with the world, stuck with the narrow thoughts, frozen, and it is shattered, and it takes you to the space, inner space, which is most important space, a space of knowledge. Pranayamat khecharattam. Pranayamat roganashanam. By the power of pranayama, you can remove diseases, because a lot of diseases come because of the lack of elements, sufficient elements like oxygen, helium, so many other elements are there which help people, nitrogen. But in the air there are all these elements are there. So if you take them, your blood gets all the elements. Pranayama sends, all through the blood, it gets mixed up with all these elements. That way your diseases are gone. So pranayamat rogonasanam. By the power of pranayama, you can destroy your diseases. Any disease can be destroyed. If you have focused your mind and practice pranayama, suppose you have some pain here, and you focus your mind here and practice pranayama, it might help you, because vital power, according to the mind, vital power flows there. If you have focused your mind here, your vitality after pranayama will come over here. So
you can move by the attention put on that spot.
Particularly attention. So that way. So pranayamat rogonashanam. And those who practice pranayama every day in a systematic way, and then food control, little exercise, little walking, then work goes on. Otherwise lazy, food is not regulated, and he practices pranayama, it doesn't work very well.
Right.
So pranayamat rogonashanam. Pranayamat bodhayat shaktim. Exactly now what you have asked me, that what is the nerve system. Pranayamat bodhayat shaktim, he says. When you practice pranayama, you feel some energy in you. You feel that you have some sort of extra energy. Your dullness is gone, and you feel yourself energetic.
Yes.
And even it is said that I have seen a girl, I am just changing the, even it is said that a person who has perfected pranayama, he can give a punch to a tiger, and the tiger can be fallen, he can be even dead. There was a person in Calcutta called Sohang Swami. He used to kill tiger by punching, fight with the tigers, free hand fight. But later on the story goes that his father's guru came in meditation to his father and said that, son, my guru says that this is not a good work, don't do it. But he still didn't listen to his father, and he went, and he was very badly wounded. He had to be in the hospital for some time. After that he has given up home and hearth and become a yogi. So Yogananda, in your autobiography Yogi, Tiger Swami, you can read that.
Oh yeah. So you're saying that through the
No,
pranayama,
I am not finished.
Yeah.
So first thing I said to you, that pranayama makes your mind flying in the space. That is a delightful thing, most delightful thing. Second thing, it removes all your diseases, imperfections. Disease means physical imperfection, disease, physical imperfections, mental imperfections. Thirdly, it gives you energy. Pranayamat bodhaya shaktim. Pranayamat manonmuni. Manonmuni means giving concentration of mind. If your mind is not concentrated, studying something or doing something, practice a little pranayama, mind comes back. So manonmuni means having concentration of mind. Pranayamat anandi bhavati chittam pranayami sukhi bhavet. So anandi bhavati chittam, the person who practices pranayama, his heart is always joyous, and pranayami sukhi bhavet, and a man of pranayama becomes happy. So these 6 things he have said. First is makes the mind space-like. Thirdly, free from disease. Thirdly, gives you energy. And fourthly, it gives you concentration of mind. And fifthly, you become joyous. And sixth is you become a happy person. What else you want?
Sounds pretty good to me.
What else you want? So this is
It
pranayamam.
sounds very good to me.
And Krishna says pranayamam param balam, pranayamam param tapam is one of the greatest austerity. And pranayama, because pranayama is like a magic, is the magic of to hold the mind controlled. And then again Garendra Rishi says again about pranayama, he says kumbhakat kundali bodhata, kundali bodhat bhavati susamna anargala hatasiddhishcha jayate. It's a very beautiful thing. He says kumbhakat, kumbhak means holding the breath, kumbhak holding, purak taking in, kumbhak holding, and rechak is expelling.
Okay.
You know, so kumbhakat kundali bodhata. When you practice kumbhak every day, your kundalini, the coiled spiritual power, the serpentine spiritual power, coiled spiritual power, it starts working. Kumbhakat kundali bodha. Kundali bodhat bhavati susamna, susamna anargala. When you have the sensation of kundalini, then your susamna, as you said, nerve, the king of nerve is within your spinal column, upon which founded all the nerve system, 72,000 nerves. So that the door of the sushumna is open. So the emotion starts moving upward. Spiritual emotion, ecstatic feeling starts moving upward. And then what happens? All the siddhi means perfection, of yoga comes to the person. So kumbhak is very important. Holding breath for some time, for as long as you can, without giving you trouble. You know, and you will see one interesting thing when you practice. When your mind is concentrated, when your mind is joyous, your meditation, kumbhak you can do longer time. Changes. And if your mind is dull, not very, kumbhak is not much. So it has connection with your heart and with your lung, you know, it expands. So feeling and prana and health and life, they are all connected. So that's why prana, even action is prana. If you work with concentration, you help your prana. If you speak with benefaction, you help your prana. Benefaction has a great deal to do with the prana, your way of life. Charity helps you to prana. If you make charity, good place, right place, you will have good sleep, because prana is working well.
Wow, it's amazing.
Everything, every movement has prana. You walk, you see your nostrils are open. You see, sometimes right is open, sometimes left is open. But when you start walking, both nostrils work. When you start meditating, you see both nostrils work. So the prana has a great deal to do with everything in our life, our activities, our lifestyle, our food, our thinking, all things are connected with prana. I do not know.
So much. I have one more question, because we're talking about prana. I wanted to ask you about the difference between the in-breath and the out-breath. It seems that the out-breath, I don't know, but when I'm internally saying the mantra or hearing the mantra, it seems to come more naturally on the out-breath, not on the in-breath. And there's something, it feels like there's a difference between the consciousness in the in-breath and the out-breath. And I wanted to ask you what the significance was. And
Patanjali says that when your mind is restless, you breathe out for a while, breathe out and remain quiet. That will help your mind to settle down. Breathe out, isn't it, Gunjan? Breathe out. Vidharanba. Breathe out. He doesn't speak much about pranayama. He says that when your mind is deeply concentrated, your breathing is slow and breathing stops. That is called stambha vritti. It is very important. That is real pranayama, he says, more than practicing pranayama, natural pranayama. Because if you have concentrated well, you can feel that your breathing is stopped, and suddenly you breathe out. So that breathing stopped, if you can make your breath stop naturally by having your concentration well, that is the best pranayama, he says. Stambha vritti. You understand? That destroys your karma. That destroys your karma. Karma is distractions. But when you have done that, slowly, it is like, I give an example, like there is a piece of stick, say a small stick,
Yeah.
and is bound with many cords.
Yeah.
So if you have hold it steadily, then this cord pulls, but they are torn, and it becomes free. So if the mind is steadily held, then the breathing is held, and then this is called stambha vritti, then your karma, which drives you all the time, which draws you all the time, drags you all the time, becomes torn. So karma can be destroyed by that way, you know. Viram pratyabhas purva sanskar sesvanna. If you have practiced this steadiness, stillness in breath and mind, then your karma is finished, and whatever karma is needed for your body, that only remains, and the rest of the bad karmas are all gone. So that is breathing is such a sort of thing. And now breathing out and breathing in. Now there are two kinds of kumbhaka. I shall speak from my experience. One kumbhaka, holding breath, is breathing out and then holding outside, and other kumbhaka is breathing in and holding within. So what I taught you is breathing within,
Yes.
not outside. You can try breathing out too, breathing out and holding it.
Yes.
You can do practice both.
Yes.
But I think breathing in, what is Gheranda Rishi and other Hatha Yoga masters are speaking more of breathing in. Patanjali only speaks that for the time being you will have little bit of concentration by breathing out. It is naturally happens. A mother thinking of her child who is lost, after a long time she suddenly breathes out. You notice that? Huh?
Yeah.
And sometimes people have problems and they are thinking on the problem and they forgot how to breathe, you know. They forgot breathing, and at once,
Yeah.
you notice that?
Yeah.
They shy out, you know.
Yes.
So this way probably Patanjali has said that if you breathe out sometimes, your mind will be quiet. But all the Hatha Yoga Shastras, they speak of breathing in and holding in, mostly holding in. Either you breathe in and hold, that helps you,
Yeah.
or by concentration, if your concentration developed very highly, you can concentrate and make the breathing stop slowly. You can do stop. You can yourself do this without any practice, you know. Breathing will automatically stop sometimes. Even heart will stop. I have also tried many times. People tried my heart and it almost stopped. No pulse. I asked the see pulse. I will concentrate and see my pulse, and this pulse is gone. You know, so that way mind is the main thing. So the vital power, if you have known how to use that through pranayama system, mind will be concentrated, and when the mind is concentrated, your vitality is increased. That way a human being has a possibility of rejuvenation, because they have the system of controlling mind, controlling food, controlling thoughts, so they can rejuvenate till the end. That's why Upanishad says that live 100 years active. Try to live 100 years active. Kurban evya karmani jijivishe satang sama. Try to live 100 years active, at least 100 years. So the people these days, they have education, and this education is absolutely minus of all these things. They have eliminated out all these things as nothing. So human life and human science and vast science, not even the small portion of that is there in the education. That is a pity. That is a pity. But in my life, whatever I am, because of these things, I have the modern education. I understand, but I think that is only book. That is only surface and nothing.
Right.
But these are really with you, you know, with your life.